Hi guys, it's Dom. Welcome back to another video. We are in my tiny apartment in Madrid. That's right, I said Madrid. Just to reintroduce myself, my name is Dominique. I love talking about traveling on this channel as well as self-development, and we're gonna get into today why I moved to Madrid and how I went from a job in social media marketing to now living in Spain. So let's get into it. So my goal for this video is to just share practical information about how to do this yourself if you want to live in Spain or any European country, and what visa requirements you need to meet and just how to do that. A lot of the time when I was researching how to move to Europe and what my options were, I just felt like there was a lot of content out there, but not super practical as far as what specific requirements you need to meet legally in order to stay long-term in a country that isn't your home country. So first, let me give you the why. I decided to move to Madrid last year in March 2021 when I decided to quit my corporate job and start fresh. And so once I decided to leave my job, which was not an easy decision whatsoever, I continued to look for corporate jobs in my home city, which is Atlanta, and just for other marketing opportunities and other office jobs that would allow me to continue the way that I was living. And for 7 weeks, I looked for another office job. For background, my degree is in journalism with a minor in English. So I've been doing marketing since I graduated from university, and deciding to change paths and career paths wasn't easy, but I knew I wanted to try something new, and here we are. I knew I always wanted to live in Europe, and Spain for some reason had always called to me. I did spend 2 months after university in London and knew that I loved Europe but had never been to Spain, and because I spoke Spanish, which you do not need to speak Spanish in order to move to Spain, but it is a big plus, it just made sense for me to look for opportunities in Spain. And how could I make that happen? I knew some friends who were going to university in Europe and getting their masters, so I started researching master's programs in Spain. I thought that if I could get a student visa, I could legally live in Spain for a long time and just travel around. This was all still in the summer of 2021. I was working 2 service jobs at this point, and I had enrolled in a TEFL course, which, if you don't know what that means, it stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. I was getting my certification through an 11-week program by ITA Academy, International TEFL Academy, and it was great. It was all online. The professor was very professional and gave me a lot of advice on how to teach well. And at the time, I was focusing on becoming an adult ESL teacher. So teaching adults, and later I'll tell you where I've ended up. But yes, that is what I was hoping to teach. So I skipped a step. While I was researching master's programs, I came across this TEFL course by ITA, and I looked into it and I thought, this is super cool if it's legitimate. And I started to read a lot of reviews and even contacted an advisor through the website, and that was really the cherry on top that made me enroll in the course. It was kind of expensive for me, especially having quit my job recently. Luckily, I had savings to sustain myself, but I still had to break my lease and move out of my apartment, move home with my parents, get 2 service jobs, all while enrolling in this teaching course. So while ITA's course is more on the expensive side, it was absolutely worth it just because of the feedback that I got, and I felt like I could actually teach at the end of the 11 weeks. There is a 4-week extensive or intensive program that they offer if you're looking to move to another country sooner. But I decided to do the 11 weeks just because I'm more of a slow-paced learner and I want to take my time with things. Plus I was working 2 jobs, so I just had to make time for everything that way with a longer course. Plus, I knew that I really wanted to move to Spain in the fall of 2022. I had that date set in mind, and so I had a year plus to save money and find a job at a school in Spain. After I was done with the TEFL course, that's around the time I started looking for teaching jobs, and I came across Conversa Spain, which is a great program that basically serves as an agency and helps you find a job in Spain. They contact the education authorities directly after you send them all of your paperwork, and we'll get into the specifics for that in a second. But again, it was worth it for me to pay for that help because I would have rather had that assistance than not. So you don't need a university degree to get your TEFL certification, but for the Conversa Spain program, you did need a university degree. It was one of the requirements. And then there was an interview. The interview was pretty straightforward. They just asked me about my degree and if I had had any teaching experience, which at the time I did not, besides the practicum hours that the TEFL course requires, which if you do it, you'll see that in order to get your teaching certification, I can't talk, you have to go through a certain amount of teaching hours. For me, I think it was like 150 hours, which a lot of those were observation. I just called my local community college. You can call a university or a high school in your home city. I called a community college and asked if I could observe the ESL classroom and maybe like do a little bit of teaching. After approval, which didn't take long, they were like, yeah, come on in and you can sit in the class. So the visa will look different to everybody, but for my consulate, which was the Miami consulate, it was pretty straightforward to get an appointment to do the visa, and then just the hard part was getting all of the documents to bring to the appointment. So I have the list of visa requirements here. You could always look up NALCAP requirements or visa requirements for a long-term student visa on Google, and it'll tell you these same things, but each consulate sometimes requires different things, and this is just the general one that I've found that had all the things that I used to apply, and as well as I think for everybody. So there is one national application visa that you have to fill out and print and make copies of. Then there's a recent color for photo that you'll have to submit, a consulate fee, which mine was $160, a valid passport or travel document that you'll need to make scans and copies of as well in order to submit. And then some consulates require you send the authentic passport and some just need photocopies of it, so I would look into that. A driver's license, which again, you can get it notarized at any like UPS or FedEx store, just a scan of it, so you don't have to send your physical driver's license. Then a medical certificate, which you'll have to go to the doctor and just get a basic physical, and then have them sign a document that you have to fill out on the NALCAP website or on the visa requirement website. You'll have a form and then you'll get that filled out. A background check, which both the medical certificate and the background check you have to get apostilled, which is the longest process. So keep in mind that to keep deadlines in mind, because you have to send an apostle. I used Monument Visa baaaack.com, and it took about 2-3 weeks once I emailed them, or did I physically mail them? I think I emailed them the papers, and then they emailed the apostles along with the printed out documents back to me, and it got to me in about 2 or 3 weeks. This is the part you need to directly contact the education authorities for, or if you're going through a program, they'll contact the education authorities for you, but you need to submit your letter of acceptance along with your visa application, and that sometimes takes time. So the sooner you apply to your program and the sooner you get all the necessary documents to them, the sooner they can get you a job in a school, and then therefore an acceptance letter that you submit with your visa application. And then once you've collected all of those things, you send your visa application with all the required documents to the appropriate or indicated consulate for your state, and then that takes about 4 to 6 weeks to get approved, and then they email you whether or not you were accepted. It is so important that you get all the documents done correctly, otherwise they will reject your application. There are 2 job openings in Europe for when kids start school and therefore require language assistance, is in the beginning of October or November, and then there's another opening in January. So basically, if you're applying in October or November, you have to submit and get your visa done by the beginning of September. And then if you're looking to come in January, you have to have everything done. Visa is in your hands by the beginning of December. So again, each consulate is different and the requirements are different, but just don't get stressed, do what you have to do, and if not, you can always postpone when you want to move to Europe. For me personally, I wanted to come October 1st for the school year till from October to end of June. So I made sure to apply to Conversa Spain in like March. I submitted all my required documents by like beginning of May, and then it was just about submitting the visa application along with everything, and I didn't get it until I had my visa appointment, which you have to go in person, so I had to physically go to Miami to pick up my visa once I knew I was approved. I went in August, and then I was all set for to leave mid-September and find a place to live before my school year started in October. Finding a place to live was a whole nother mountain to climb, but this video is already getting long enough, so I will do that in another video. If you're interested, just subscribe to my channel and I will upload a video on how I found housing and what I went through to do that. Okay, so just to wrap it up, thank you guys for sticking with me till the end of this video. And if there's anything else you want to know about life in Madrid, just keep watching my videos and subscribe to this channel and give everything a thumbs up. I think that if you guys choose to come to Madrid, it is a great city to just travel to different European countries and just see the world, basically. I obviously was able to make it and save enough money in order to come and launch my start here. And how long I'm staying is indefinite. So I have a contract for my long-term visa until the end of June, but I'm seriously considering renewing for another year. So follow along my journey and I'll let you know if I'm able to renew for another long-term visa and if I decide to even stay in Spain. Again, thank you for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.